Recently by an indie Steam developer to create a review for them on my creator page. I said yes, obviously. Little did I know that I was about to discover a masterpiece. Okay, this footage is all my initial reaction to the game. I wasn't really expecting the music to be so blisteringly loud when I launched it. I lowered the volume quite a bit just to save your ears. As you can see, the settings are definitely lacking. Would you like your sound on or off? Graphics are no better, there are only 3 options, and frankly, I'm not even sure if they do anything. Now the achievement section. That's another story entirely, really. When I first launched the game, I was kind of expecting it to be a little bit better than it was. Not too sure why. But all 6 of the options displayed here, none of them are interactable, and half of them aren't even cropped onto the screen properly. So what's the point of it, really? Don't know. Right, the control section. This is a masterpiece right here. Nothing on this screen you can edit. It may as well just be a PNG for all I know. It gives you the basic controls listed out, and it says there's controller support. I didn't test it, probably should have thinking back on it, but I can't imagine it's too hard to make right, so that must be something they've done right. Right, okay, that's about it for the settings. They're pretty bad, as you can probably tell. So, when you press the play button of Doom, you get 2 game mode choices. Right off the bat is Assault and Stealth. Frankly, I'm not the biggest fan of stealth segments in games, so I'm going to leave that one to the last. So let's try Assault. Okay then. So once I selected Assault mode, I was greeted with a weapons customization screen. Only except there wasn't any customization? Okay, I'm lying a little there. You are able to add 5 different add-ons to the gun. These change its stats, only they require some mysterious currency, which, while I was playing the game, I was praying that they weren't paid for. Right, once I'd pimped my gun, with a total of 0 mods given to me at the beginning of the game, I was given a mission select screen, except this had scrolling to it, which made me think that I might have missed something earlier with the achievement section. Unfortunately I wasn't, and it's just broken. Has to be expected really, I suppose. Right, I was finally ready to get into the mission. Nothing else, just play. I was greeted instantly with this really botched cinematic and then thrown right into the game. It was a bit jarring really. Right, once I was in the combat, it wasn't really anything too special either. A couple of clicks and the enemies were dead really. Damage wasn't too much of a problem. As you can see, I never really took any. I did eventually. And then the other issue is map layout. Granted, it is quite a large map, but there's nothing to do on it. There was only about 4 or 5 enemies to begin with. They were killed quite quickly, and then I was left searching for a mission objective. Unfortunately for me, I didn't expect the mission objective to be the giant green blob on my map. I thought that was one of my teammates, or if anything, something that was on my side, because it's the same colour as my player's icon. But apparently, that's too obvious, and it was actually some kind of ethereal portal which I walked into to get the victory screen. This victory screen really confused me here. It showed me that I'd earned coins and XP. Now I earned 45 XP, but I have no recollection whatsoever of ever being told that I had a level at all. And the coins, 75, is not much considering the most basic add-on for the gun is worth 600 of them. Okay, so I loaded into this next level expecting something real similar to the last one. I was not expecting what happened. I went in, died from some unexpected source. Okay, so I've jumped to about my 10th attempt at this level,
Here are
And
the enemy
this is what I
targets.
was talking about.
Shoot them before
I'm
they
gonna...
do.
I was not expecting anything like that, but for some reason this game has some kind of text-to-speech narrator that tells you some of the objectives. Now, once I got to this stage in the level, on the bottom of my screen, it said, disable the mine traps. So not only was I ear-raped by some random narrator showing up, telling me to kill the enemies, but I wasn't told about the thing that killed me initially, and was supposed to figure that out by myself, apparently. It only took me 10 goes to figure out there were mines that I could actually blow up. So once I killed all the enemies, which was not really difficult, I lost quite a bit of health, but that's just because of the sheer number of them, really. I made my way over to the objective, which is massively far from any of the action. Nothing goes on here. And then just hopped into the portal, and that was the end of that. Victory. Okay, so I'm sorry if you can hear my friend through this. It's just the way I was recording it. For some reason I decided to be in Discord while making this review. But as you can hear here, the narrator is so loud. I've turned it down for this recording just to save your ears, but I could not hear during this. It was absolutely insane. Also, the game was lagging quite a bit through in this section. I don't think it can handle explosions all that well, which is unfortunate considering half the game seems to be based around explosions. Now there's a little gunfight that breaks out here, which was dealt with pretty much instantly, and then I moved on, and then I started noticing something. This map, as I traversed through it, I started noticing details of it, and then more and more it looked similar, and I was thinking to myself, where have I seen this map before? Oh wait, every map on the assault mission section is the same map. Now I have this realization in a minute before I start throwing grenades. For some reason in this game they provide you with 5 grenades to start with, or 4 grenades to start with. It's just an absurd amount, and I don't think they actually deal damage. So I'm trying to find this guy now. I wasn't really sure where he is because the radar's really bad. The blips, or the enemies, show up as giant dots. And then, just to make sure he's dead. I'm not really sure what the partner is following you around for. I don't think they do anything. But it's at this very point that I realise this objective has been in this little bunker area twice in a row. I have a sudden epiphany that I've been to the same area, and this map is just reuse. It's absurd, really. And then all of a sudden I'm greeted with this jarring kind of flashing PNG. I need to upgrade my weapon to play the next mission. Now, I barely had enough coins to upgrade my weapon. I think it required 600, and I had exactly 600. Hang on, I go in there a sec. Right, yeah. So I had just enough to buy the most basic add-on, which allowed me to move on with the next level. Anyway, now I'm deciding to move on to the stealth section because I've had enough of the assault. For some reason, in stealth, you're granted an assault rifle, which is silenced, but since I didn't have sound on, I couldn't really verify if it was or not. Anyways, I launch up stealth, and there's a long loading screen. There are for all of the maps, as to be expected, really. And then I'm greeted with this cinematic, which I accidentally cancel out of because I moved my cursor. Now, cinematics shouldn't really be cancelled by that, and that's kind of bad that you can cancel out of a cinematic just by doing something that you naturally do. Anyways, this cinematic lasts about 30 seconds-ish, and is just you and a reused asset of you on a car driving through mines, which are for some reason not doing anything to the car. And then you park up in this car, and now you're by a hillside underneath a highway. Because, you know, that makes sense, I suppose. Anyways, stealth. Don't know why this section's called stealth.
Beware, there are landmines in the area.
don't know why this section is called stealth, because the narrator is so loud. But anyway, this section is far easier than assault, and it's also much laggier apparently. What is going on? Okay, my recording just died apparently. Sure, ignore the fact that it's running at like 2 FPS. In assault, essentially you run at about 600 miles an hour and don't take damage. I've not taken damage that round, and I didn't think at that point you could take damage. You can apparently, as I find out next round, but there's barely any. There's not fractions, they're not noticeable. The gun you're using is a lot better than the assault gun as well, and the map is different, which is good I guess. But other than that, not much different to assault. You're seemingly stronger, although it's assault, I don't know. Stealth, you're given 10 grenades, which just backs up my point really that you're stronger in the stealth section than in the assault section. Doesn't make much sense. Why would you carry 10 grenades with you if you're on a stealth mission? But after I've done blowing up those randomly on fire buildings, I give it the classic barrel test, but they do absolutely nothing. And I just hop on into the portal. Why it's a portal, I didn't really question it when I was playing through, to be fair. I don't know why it's a portal. That is a bit random. Alright, I click next mission and it jumps me straight in. No warning really, it just plops me in. And I'm greeted with this massive group of people. Now on assault, I'd probably be killed here. But because it's stealth, and for some reason I have the ability to dodge bullets like I'm in the Matrix, I'm able to just really quickly kill this group. I mean, I'm even able to reload my gun apparently several times behind this car while this man's shooting at my head, and I've still got almost half my health left. So once I've killed those guys, which is incredibly easy, I make my way over to the portal, which is on the other side of the city. Now I understand why you're given super speed for stealth, because you really do need it. The city is so big that it requires you to be able to run fast to get to the objective, since there's nothing else to do. Which is another issue with this game, other than pretty much everything. The enemies need to be spaced out more. I feel as if they were spaced out more, it would actually give you something to do at least. Right, I finished that stealth section, and I didn't want to do any more after that. So I came back to the main menu, and I was going to do an outro, except I found possibly my favourite part of the game, which is the language slider. Now I checked all these, and obviously I can't speak the majority of languages on here, but I'm going to assume they're correct. And the translation, the level of detail the translations go into is pretty decent, so I'll give them props for that. That's something they've done right. Anyways, this game's awful, don't get it. Yeah, it's £7 on Steam, ridiculous.